Hello everyone, and welcome to Tiger on the Block, the only podcast that takes collegiate acapella members and makes them really uncomfortable for 30 minutes. I'm Tony like the tiger, Voss like the water.
And I'm Jessica Block, jean jacket enthusiast. Yo, Tony, I don't really know about you, but all of this talking to groups about ICCA stuff has got me thinking about next year's ICCAs, if that's happening.
I mean, what do you mean?
Like, I wonder what our theme will be. Like, this year it was space goth, you know?
Yeah, I wasn't really here last year when you guys decided on it, and I still have a lot of questions about that.
Yeah, me too, Tony. Me too.
Like, the set turned out so good. Like, I loved it, and I wouldn't change anything about it, but what possessed you guys to choose space, of all things, for an acapella competition?
I don't really have a great answer for you, so let's just go with Katy Perry.
Katy Perry? Really?
Yeah, I heard she appeared to Arin and Braden on
our music director and assistant music director at the time, for those of you who don't know.
Oh, yeah. Well, she appeared to them in a dream one night on the same night and was like, ooh, you need to perform E.T. at ICCAs 2020, ooh, and also reharmonize it so it's good and interesting, ooh, and then make the rest of your set space-themed because I'm Katy Perry and I say so, ooh. Hence the space-themed a cappella performance at ICCAs.
You know what? Not the craziest thing I've heard. I have no words.
I have some. Tony, who do we have in the studio today?
We have the Beat at UCSD.
Oh, Georgia, my sweet Georgia, still no peace I find.
Since their founding in 2004, the Beat at UCSD has put their soulful and personal style into each of their arrangements and performances, covering artists from Ariana Grande to Michael Bublé.
They've performed at weddings, museums, San Diego community events, various campus events, and competed in the ICCAs multiple times.
We got two members in the studio today, so why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves? Who you are and where you're from.
Hello, I'm Jacob. I'm from Indiana.
I'm Anu Sethuraman. I'm originally from Tucson, Arizona, and I'm so excited to be on the podcast today.
Yay! We're excited to have you. Our first question for you guys is kind of a broad one, but it's always really interesting to see different people's stories of how they came to this a cappella world that we are all living in. So we're going to ask you guys, how did you guys get into music, first of all, and a cappella, second of all, or if it's the same story than just muse a cappella?
So I started playing cello in middle school, and in high school I got really into it and wanted to go off and study music in college, and was playing in all sorts of orchestras and had some really cool opportunities. But I didn't get the scholarships I needed. I didn't get into the schools I wanted to go to for music. And so I kind of just said, screw it. I'm going to San Diego and I'm going to study whatever they'll let me study. How I got into a cappella is that I was super, super bored week one of classes, and I was walking around Library Walk looking for something to do, and somebody called me over and asked me if I like to sing. And I said, well, yeah, I sing in the shower and I sing in the car. And they're like, oh, well, that's good enough. Here's a flyer. Sign up for some audition time. And so I went, signed up for like a bunch of auditions, and got one callback to the Beat. And that callback was some of the most fun I had like the entire first year. And the rest is history.
That's an awesome story. So did you do like all-state orchestras and things in high school, or like honor orchestras and all that jazz?
Yeah, so my high school was really bad with music because we were really small. So I didn't do that orchestra, and I played for the New World Youth Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, that one's good.
Yeah, they were just incredible. We got to travel to like Chicago and New York.
That's fantastic. That's so cool.
So how I got into music, I would say I grew up singing through choir and through Indian classical music. Since I was 5 years old, that's kind of what I've been doing. But I'd never really gotten into popular music. It was basically all just either Western classical or Indian classical. Throughout high school, I was part of a professional choir. We toured, I did all state, all of those things. But I'd really just never thought about like singing radio songs or just like songs that I loved to hear like at home whenever I was jamming out. And so when I got to college, I think I just wanted to go and do music for fun and like as more of a social activity. And I found that acapella was just the way to do that. So I wasn't originally planning to audition. I was just planning to do choir, but I went to this event that we have at UCSD called Acapella Wants You, where all of the groups perform. And I just fell in love with every single group's unique sound. So I auditioned for 4 groups, got 2 callbacks, and then ended up in the Beat. And it's just been awesome ever since.
That's another really cool story. I love hearing how people get involved because everyone has a different beginning to how they get into music and a different end to how they get into a cappella. And not that that's the end, but it's where we're at now. And it's just really cool to see that pathway. I have to ask, because a couple of my friends who have done Indian classical singing have said this, does it help with like riffing?
Yeah, it definitely does. It's based a lot on like vocalization, and there isn't like any written music. So you kind of just have to go by what you hear and then kind of just improvise on that. So I thought for a really long time, like I wanted to study jazz music in college just because like it's really good at teaching you improv. But I find that like a cappella honestly has a lot of avenues for that as well. So it's a good mix of everything that I grew up having, and now it's channeling into something new. So
that's really cool. You talked a little bit in your story about Acapella Wants You. And that's a really interesting concept that you guys go out there and you do that, and as a part of your recruitment process. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about the acapella scene at UCSD. Mostly the groups that have been on this show have been from UCLA or surrounding areas, though we did have a group from Pennsylvania that were fantastic. So I was wondering if you could talk about what it was like at UCSD and the acapella scene around that area.
Yeah, so I can talk a little bit about my first year, because I didn't really meet any of the other groups besides like being in auditions and going to their concerts. So I didn't really know anyone that well. And so when I was a second year, I decided it would be super fun to try and meet everybody all at once in an all-encompassing a cappella party. And I just happened to live in a house that was suitable for hosting such an event. And so I decided I would put up the Facebook page, send out something ridiculous like 100 invites. There was 60 people had clicked going. But of course, it's UCSD. Everyone's at least a little nerdy. And so I expected like maybe 30 or 40 people to show up. There was like 70 people there, and I was so unequipped to handle 70 a cappella kids in my house, because I'd bought a mic and I had an amp, and so we were having like karaoke going in the living room and all sorts of games going on in the garage, and just a ton of noise and a ton of fun. And around 11:30, our landlord showed up because he got a call from one of our neighbors, and he said that we were going to be evicted. We weren't evicted, but everyone had to go home. But it was really fun nonetheless. I got to meet so many people and like have really good conversations just like about a cappella, about like who they are, what the other groups do, and what they're about. And I don't want to like toot my own horn too much, but that was, in my eyes, that was kind of like one of the Kickstarters for so many other group activities that have been held since. Can't help but like pat myself on the back for that one.
Acapella people do know how to party.
That's true. I was totally blown away. Extremely impressed.
I think just like also going off of that, the Aca party and like all the events we do just kind of go to show like how big the acapella community is at UCSD. I think a lot of people just don't realize it, but we have either 8 or 9 acapella groups on campus, which is a lot for one school. And we're all really different. We all kind of have our own feel, different kinds of people, different kinds of styles of music. And so having the Acapella Wants You event where everyone gets to showcase their own unique sound, and then having the Aca Party and all of our events that we do, like exchanges with the other acapella groups, and other events like that has just created this vibrant community. And I'm kind of sad that more people don't know about it, but it's there. And yeah, we all competed in ICCAs this year, most of us. And that was a really great experience too. And I think like the Beat has been, again, like not to toot our own horns, but we've kind of been a group that's been trying to like get to know some of the other groups more on campus. We this year we met up with Soundwave from SDSU, so we kind of have cultivated this like San Diego acapella community now, which is cool too. But yeah, I don't know, UCSD is a great place for acapella for sure.
I was just gonna say, then you should check out the Soundwave episode that we did.
Yeah.
I did.
It's cool to hear that you guys have all sorts of things you do in the UCSD acapella scene. I think for UCLA, we have a lot of acapella groups, and we have a couple large acapella gatherings like the Aca Party and the Aca Prom. But for the most part, I think every school could do with a tighter knit acapella community, and it's cool that you guys are starting to try to cultivate that there at UCSD. Kind of in that same vein, what does your group do for fun or social outings? Do you guys do a lot together besides singing?
Yeah, so we try and do as much karaoke as humanly possible without destroying our voices for the whole week. I still haven't figured out how to do that, so if you guys have any tips, that would be amazing. But yeah, we try and hang out as much as possible. We are all very busy, and the quarters are really fast-paced, so there's not a ton of time for that. But we try and have a retreat at least once a quarter, where we'll kind of just rent out an Airbnb and spend most of the weekend singing and hanging out together, working out different parts of our like concert or set, and just kind of doing a lot of bonding.
Do you guys have any traditions too, like maybe with your retreat or just in general that your group does every single year?
So something that I love about retreats, actually it's something that made me nervous in the beginning, but I've grown to love about retreats, is we have this tradition called Show and Sing, in which it's exactly what it sounds like. Everyone brings a song and they sing the song for everyone else during our second night in retreat, I think. And I remember when on my first retreat, I like really didn't want to do it. I was scared just because I didn't know everyone super well, and I just like was scared to show off my voice. But honestly, once I did it, it was something that just brought us all closer together. Everyone has really distinct music tastes, so it's cool to see what everyone chooses to bring to the table, and then it all just ends up in a big karaoke fest again, as Jacob was saying. We really do love our karaoke, especially at retreat too. So yeah, Show and Sing is a really awesome tradition. We're sad that we didn't get to do that this quarter with quarantine, but we did have this really cool open mic. So I guess we kind of are bringing the tradition back to life. But yeah, that's one of our traditions. And then we have this other tradition called American Idol. It's not a retreat tradition, but what we do is at the end of the year, we have everyone again bring a song that they really like and they think would be good for an a cappella arrangement. And they get to sing it for everyone else. Then we vote on which 2 or 3 songs we liked best. And that song gets arranged for the upcoming year with the person who sang it as the soloist. So it's a really awesome way for people to get more involved in the group and for people to kind of choose what kinds of songs we do. Yeah, it's a great experience.
That's a really unique way to choose songs to do, because I know a lot of groups will vote on them in some way or have a Spotify playlist or just have their music director decide just by themselves. But it's cool that you guys have that interactive experience that you do, and it seems super fun too.
It also seems like a great way to give every individual person in the group a time to like shine and really show off a part of their personality. And even if like that song isn't picked, I feel like that personality therefore gets to shine even brighter within the group, you know?
That's definitely true as well.
I'd like to take this moment to just talk about your guys' most recent ICCA journey. You guys can just talk about the prep that went into it, and talk about how everything ended up turning out.
Yeah, so we started over the summer by picking our songs, and I think we just had a big Google poll where you could just submit whatever song you want, and it would go on to the spreadsheet, and you could type a little bit about how you want it to be arranged, or like what kind of message this song portrays, and how it would fit into an ICCA set. And so I think it took us 2 or 3 different meetings to actually finalize what songs we wanted in the set. I think I missed one of them because I had like a 5-minute window during break at work where I left work and I was like, hey, these are the songs I want. This is why I want them. They'd be super cool. I gotta go. So Anu, if you could talk a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so we had, as Jacob said, we had these meetings over the summer to kind of decide what kind of songs we were going to do. And I remember there was this huge list of super different songs. I really couldn't see how any of them would go together. But at that last meeting, we listened to all the songs and then we kind of decided everyone got to pitch the set that they wanted. And we decided on our set, which amazingly came together with this message that I don't think any of us really expected. But the 3 songs that we did just like really meshed really well together. So Jacob, like if you want to go into like which ones we chose.
Yeah, so I had this idea in my brain that we would start off with like a very slow, kind of like the acoustic version of John Bellion's Stupid Deep, have that for like a minute or so. And then I didn't really know what I wanted for the middle 2 songs, but then the closer, I wanted to mash Grow As We Go by Ben Platt with Stupid Deep again and kind of bring that theme like full circle.
Yeah.
And we ended up choosing one of our other 2 songs because of American Idol, because one of our winners, she's like an amazing soloist, and we just kind of decided that it would fit really well within the ICCA set and like kind of keep the story moving.
Yeah, so that song was I Want You Back by the Jackson 5, the American Idol song. And like as Jacob said, we chose that song because it had been chosen from American Idol. The soloist was amazing, and we just couldn't leave it out of the set. So we put that in as the second song, kind of after like the slow acoustic version of Stupid Deep. And then a lot of people really wanted the song Too Close by Alex Clare. So we listened to the song and kind of just tried it out. So we had the Stupid Deep intro, I Want You Back by the Jackson 5, Too Close by Alex Clare, and then ending with Grow As We Go by Ben Platt. And somehow it just really made sense. It was like a journey, like honestly, for the entire set. And so we kind of just created the choreography and did all of the music arranging and everything, kind of going with that journey that we had envisioned. The slow acoustic, what's going on, to the happy, to the conflicted, and then kind of to the closure with Grow As We Go. And so it just turned out to be a really good set.
I feel like the best sets too, they have storylines like that you can kind of follow emotionally. And I really liked how you guys' set was kind of like an arc. It was really cool. It was like slow, and then there was like vibrancy, and then there was like Grow As We Go was such a beautiful song, and like ending with that and like Stupid Deep together was just like my heart. It was so good.
I think one of the greatest challenges, at least in the very early process of the ICCA set process, is everybody has these fantastic ideas, and everybody's kind of, it's like you're throwing a bunch of paint at the canvas, and after it's all there, then you're like, all right, well then now we have to we're finding the shapes and images in it. We're figuring out what things are sticking to each other, and it's fantastic to see this menagerie of ideas, this mosaic of songs and concepts, and how it all comes down to the singular, cohesive, and beautiful narrative.
Tony, I love how much you love the word menagerie.
I do. I've been picking up on a lot of the phrases that I use a lot. But this isn't about me, you guys. This is about the beat. And so I would like to ask you two, what were your favorite performances of your entire acapella career at UCSD? You have a couple to choose from, I know, so if you have to take a moment, feel free. But I would like to just, if you're willing to share your favorite performance It doesn't have to be a super big thing. It could even be something a little bit more intimate. Just let us know.
I think for my best performance that I think I did the best at was probably when I sang Hey There Delilah last spring, because I'd been singing it all year because we did it for fall, winter, and spring, and I'd finally like found what I wanted to do with it as like not only the song but as like what I wanted to picture in my mind and what I wanted to sing about with this song. And finally getting in that groove was just like an amazing feeling for me. But my favorite performance, I think, has to have been the ICCA set, because I just put so much work in, countless hours, like rehearsing, doing choreo, building endurance.
Yeah, for anyone who's music directed an ICCA set, it's a lot.
Not to mention throwing movement and choreography and narrative on top of having to sing these beautiful, lush chords.
That's why I wanted to do mandatory gym hours, and nobody would come and sing on the treadmill with me.
Everyone else wanted to do the horizontal running.
Yeah, apparently. I couldn't figure out why, because at the gym, nobody ever like looks around. They're like focused on their running. They've got their headphones in. And I was like, you know what? Nobody's going to hear me. Might as well sing. Get in some practice.
Jess, we might have to steal that one.
Singing on a treadmill.
It worked really, really
Honestly, we're going to bring it back for this year.
We had this part of our set that was like, everyone was extremely out of breath at that point, and we considered cardio for like a second, and then we were all immediately like, no.
Yeah, it's really not fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a means to an end, but like at what cost, you know?
I really wanted to do acapella racquetball, because the acoustics in those rooms are just incredible. And then you've got a little activity going where you're hitting the ball against the wall. I have no idea how the game is played, but that's how I play it. But singing in there is just a ton of fun.
For sure. Those rooms are just like all echo.
Okay, so I think my favorite performance is definitely when we sang Don't You Worry About a Thing as the acapella guest group at ICCAs, not this year, but last year. It was really fun. We decided to be the guest group just kind of on a whim, and we sang that song, and it was the last song we sang before everyone came back on stage for the judging. So we were singing Don't You Worry About a Thing, and all these other a cappella groups are coming back onto the stage. This was all taking place at UCSD. And so we're on the stage with all of our a cappella friends just singing Don't You Worry About a Thing, and it's just like a really good jam song. We're all just jamming out, dancing, and it was just a really fun time. Just reminded me how vibrant of a place a cappella is and how many cool people there are and how the power of music can just be manifested in a performance like that. So that was my favorite performance, but I have to go along with Jacob too and say that this ICCA set was just another amazing performance, mainly because Jacob and I were the music directors this past year. Jacob, he arranged a lot of the music, so for him, like, it was probably just awesome to see like all of it come to life. But for both of us, I think just seeing all of our efforts with the rehearsals and putting the music with the choreography and everything, just all of that come to fruition on stage and just feeling the emotions on stage, that was just an experience that I won't forget.
Those sound like awesome things. I know that moment when everyone comes on stage at the end of ICCAs and like the host group is performing is just, it's always one of the best moments. Everyone's like clapping and dancing, and the ICCA experience in general is just, it's a good time. Which kind of brings us to our next segment where we're going to talk a little bit more about your guys' ICCA experience this year. So Tony, if you want to take that away.
Absolutely. Always magically glides right in. Everyone, welcome to Music Notes. This is the part of our show where we take a look back at a past performance of your group and talk a little bit about the preparation that went into it, how it felt to perform live, and what it feels like to look back at it now. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the Beats mashup of Grow As We Go by Ben Platt and Stupid Deep by John Bellion at the 2020 ICCA Southwest quarterfinals with soloist Jacob Benson. Let's check it out.
Go and find yourself. You say you'd rather be alone to be with always. You think you'll find it time with someone else. Who said it's true that growing only have 10 years on your own? They don't know me and you. I don't think you have to leave. If the change is what you need, you can change right mentally. When you're high, you take the lows. You can ebb and I can flow, and we'll take it slow and grow as we grow as we go.
Yeah. I get to use one of my favorite words again. What were your guys' visceral responses? Just your initial impression looking back at it now. What are the thoughts going through your mind?
I think it just takes me back to all of the emotions that we had when we were on stage. It was, I think, the performance in which everything that we'd been talking about just clicked for us in that moment, which is what you want in an ICCA's performance. But I think the week leading up to it, we'd had some problems kind of just like clicking in emotionally. And so to see it all again, just to like hear the emotion, to see all of our efforts just like come to life on stage, it's a good feeling. And yeah, I was just thinking throughout the whole thing, like all of the cues that Jacob and I used to give like in rehearsal as music director, like I know that's so bad to just like think back on, but like sforzando, crescendo, like subito, like that's all I can think about now, like is in my mind is like all these dynamics that we went over and over again. But yeah, great performance. I'm glad that we went out there and gave it our all.
Yeah, listening back, I have a really good and bad habit of criticizing myself just to the utmost point. And so like every time I listen to that, I find something new that I did wrong, or like something that I was like, oh, oops. But in the moment, I think I can best compare this to my first ICCAs, which was 2 years ago. And I also had like a little solo in that turned into a trio. And I almost don't remember any of the performance, even like directly afterwards. Because I wasn't a singer. I didn't have experience performing on stage with people. I was used to like sitting either by myself or in a group of like 100 kids playing cello. And being up there was so, I felt naked during my little solo part, and it was just so overwhelming and terrifying. And the difference was immense for this ICCAs, because I felt in so much control. Not that I'd put in like a lot more work than I did, because I was still working really, really hard back then to get my part down and to like become an actual singer. But this time around, I felt that I had the experience, I had the practice, like everything was there, and all I had to do was go out and like perform my best. And I feel like that's what I did. And I almost every time we went through the set, like as a dress rehearsal or like full run where we're wearing like our costumes and everyone's emoting and doing dynamics and choreography, at the end of the set, almost every time I would start to tear up, and I promised myself I would not cry until it was over. And at the very end of the set, when we all put our arms around each other, I just started bawling. And it was a total mess. But I think it really just hit home how much work and how emotionally invested everyone is in ICCAs and how much fun it is.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, I think something that people always say about us, like I mentioned, there's a lot of acapella groups at UCSD, like in distinguishing the beat, everyone always says that we act and sound like a family. And I think we just really wanted to embrace that, especially with the song like Grow As We Go by Ben Platt. It kind of described our entire ICCA's journey. Like we had a lot of surprises along the way, like hardship, just like with a lot of different aspects of the planning process and everything. And so we truly just wanted to embrace that feeling of growing as we go and being a family together on the stage. And yeah, just looking back, like seeing all the hard work, we had amazing choreographers, like shout out to them. They did an awesome job. Amazing arrangers, like shout out to Jacob, shout out to our alumni, Neil Beluso. We would not have been able to do anything without him. So shout out to him. But yeah, just seeing all of that come together, all those different elements and kind of seeing all of our hard work and our journey come together. It was just amazing. And it was a performance that will always keep with us.
Yeah. And it's clear listening to it too, that the emotion's there and everyone's feeling it. And like you said, like you were crying by the end. I think in the music video of the original song by Ben Platt, like he's crying by the end too. It's such a heartfelt song, and to sing it without feeling all of that emotion by the end, it wouldn't be the same song. And I think it shows how well your group can channel those emotions and how well you guys can put your all and your feelings of family and how much you love each other and how much you've worked on this. You can put all that emotion like into your performance, and the fact that it makes you cry at the end, it's like you did it right. I don't know. It's like you channeled it all and it all came out, and that's the way it was, and it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think that also factors into how I go about arranging, because despite having like 8 years of musical experience, I never really got into the music theory thing. I would just kind of play the notes that were in front of me.
Relatable.
And how I go about arranging is I like will put down the solo line into MuseScore, or I'll just like sing the song in my head, and I kind of just put in whatever I feel like. And I know there's a lot of math that goes into making a chord sound nice, but I have no idea what it is. And so I would just put notes on the page and be like, oh, that's not good. Or, oh, that's pretty good. And so the process is kind of, I feel like I pulled this arrangement from somewhere within me that like has been untapped for so long.
I mean, there's no right or wrong way to arrange. Like, some people do it by building it up from the theory, and some people do it by building it down from what they hear in their head, bottom up or top down. You can get amazing arrangements, and I think everyone has their own creative process, and however you did it, it sounds amazing, so congratulations. It's great to hear about your guys' performance and how you felt about it, because it's really nice for Tony and I to hear people talk about these things, because everyone just loves thinking about these past performances, and it's fun to see people like reminisce, I don't know, about the things they've done as a group. Speaking of fun things to do as a group, we have a game for you guys to play, but before we get into that, we would like to thank our sponsors. Today's episode is brought to you by Yankee Candle, creating more scents than the world can handle. Oh, would you look at that? Candle's got me waxing poetic.
And by Falling Pianos. Coming at you at 120 beats per minute and 25 miles per hour. So this game we have deemed Off the Beaten Path. Jessica, would you care to explain how it all...
Sure. So you guys you'll take turns, and each of you will have 20 seconds to come up with a song and sing it, and that song should be a song that you think your opponent will never have heard of. And if your opponent doesn't know the song, then the person who originally sang it gets a point. But if the opponent can join in and sing the song with you, then the opponent gets the point. Any genre or style is fair game as long as the song is real and Googleable. And you don't have to say the name of the song until after the round, just to make it a little more fun and challenging. If you can't think of a song in those 20 seconds, then your opponent gets the point. Tony, would you like to do a quick example? with me?
Absolutely. Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start your time going, and then you start singing a song, and if I know it, I'll join in, and if I don't, I won't, and we'll see who gets the point.
Okay, well, you don't know pop, so...
Oof. Okay, ready, go.
Hello, hello, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I hope that you're missing me, 'cause it makes me feel young.
I don't know that song. What song is it?
That's Sober Up by AJR.
There you go, you got me. So in that case, Tony would get the point. So you guys see how this works?
Yeah.
It's gonna be you guys versus each other, because I know you guys probably know each other. You might know what songs the other person might not know. So it's a fun little thing. For instance, Tony knows that I don't know like any pop songs. So hooray for that. Are you guys ready to get started?
Best of luck
Who wants
to you guys.
to go first?
Maybe some vocal sirens?
Oh yeah, woo! Woo! Those are hard to do while laughing. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Alright, if you guys have both thought of some songs that you know, I think we're gonna do it, and I'm just gonna start you and give you 20 seconds, and you just start trying to think of a song. Let's do it. Okay, I'm gonna do this differently, Tony, and this makes for great radio. I'm gonna close my eyes and point to my screen, and whoever I point to is gonna go first. Oh, Jacob, it was you. Alright.
Lovely.
Your 20 seconds starts now.
Oh, shoot. Okay. There are some nights I hold to every note I ever wrote. Some nights I say fuck it all. Stare at the calendar, waiting for catastrophes. Imagine that they scared me into changing whatever is I am changing into.
Do you recognize the song?
Oh.
I do not. Jacob's really good at the whole off the beaten path.
Oh no! We got a challenge here then.
Anu, it's your turn. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Your time starts now.
It doesn't really matter if I'm happy or sad. It's bigger than the rest of us. I promise you that I'm glad. I'm glad.
That was
Taking... Oh.
Sorry, you can keep going if you want.
It's okay. It's okay.
Do you recognize the song, Jacob?
No.
You each have a point at this point.
Can I guess the title?
Sure.
Is it doesn't really matter?
No.
It was worth a shot. What were the titles of the songs you guys sang for the first round?
Mine was Some Nights Intro by Fun.
Honestly,
Oh.
okay, I was thinking it was that, but then I was like, wait, no, like it's not, because then it like sounded like twangy, so I was like, oh no, it's not. Leave it to Jacob to put his own spin on the song.
Artistic license.
Yes. Mine was Cartoon People by Billy Martin.
Oh.
Well, that was a great first round. Let us go on to the second round. I wish that were a pun, but I just said the word lettuce and there was no joke involved. Okay. Jacob, it is your turn again. Are you ready?
Sure.
Your time starts now.
5 seconds.
Oh shit, okay. It's the 3rd of October, you should come over. Best laid plans are not sober. And maybe not the way we thought we planned. But both of us will take this hand for a couple of days and then we'll disappear. We don't have to talk where we go from here, oh, my dearly departed. My dearly departed.
Is it called Dearly Departed?
What? Yeah.
I don't know the song though, so you still fooled me.
This is cool. I feel like I'm learning a bunch of songs that I have never heard before. So that's awesome. Jacob, you've got another point. It is now 2-1. And Anu, it is your turn for round 2. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, your time starts now.
If you were falling, then I would catch you. You need a light. I'd find a match. 'Cause I love the way you say good morning. And you take me the way I am.
Jacob, do you recognize it?
I can't remember it. I know. I can't
Well, that's a
remember what
point
it's
for
called.
you, Anu. So right now the score is 2-2. You guys seem to really know the types of songs the other person would not know, which I guess is a testament to how close your group is, that you know those kinds of things about each other. But what were the titles of the last songs you guys sang?
Mine was Dearly Departed by Marianas Trench.
Mine was The Way I Am by Ingrid Michaelson, and I sang that song for show and sing. So, Jacob, but it's fine.
Ingrid Michaelson has some great stuff.
I saw her
remember she did
live.
Everybody. Oh, really?
It was a great time, yes.
Ooh, nice. That's cool.
All right.
Tony, do you want to do the final round since you have a great announcer voice?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to our final round. Our two contestants are tied. Will they be able to break it? Or will they both cross the finish line together? Jacob, are you ready?
I am ready.
It's as ready as you're gonna be. In 3, 2, 1, start that clock.
Until now, I knew this of myself, that if you had thrown yourself down into the lion's den, my brother, I follow you in.
Do you recognize the song?
I do, but I don't know what it's called.
We actually did that song in our group last year.
Really?
Yeah, it's a good one. But if you don't recognize the song, Anu, that means Jacob gets a point.
There he goes.
But if you can choose a song that he does not know in this final round, then you guys can finish this thing tied. So, Tony, would you like to announce the final part of the final round?
Sure. Let me figure out what I'm gonna say.
Okay.
This is the final round. We're already in the final round. Jacob has just scored, leaving our other contestant potentially in the dust. We shall see. In 3, 2, 1.
You and I, baby. Maybe we can ride away, baby. And I just wanna get inside, baby. But I don't wanna wait forever. Scared that I can treat you better than this. So when I'm gonna know what to feel inside, baby, maybe it's just all in my head. So
That's such a good song. Jacob,
that was awesome.
please tell me you know it.
I don't know it.
Well, let's hear the song titles from the last round.
I sang Iscariot.
oh yeah, darn it. Okay. Mine was Love Affair by Umi.
She's such a fantastic artist. And you guys did such a great job. You were able to, all 3 rounds, find a song that the other person wouldn't know, and you guys sang it beautifully. So thank you. We're now nearing the end of the podcast. So we're just going to give you this last segment. If you guys want to promote anything, and I mean pretty much everything, if you have some friends that you want to shout out, other people within the group, if you want to tell us what your group is going to be up to, or even if you have a personal project that you feel very passionate about, feel free to talk about it here.
Yeah, so we have Facebook, we have Instagram, the Beat at UCSD. Our website is ucsdbeat.com. I don't do social media, so Anu, take it away.
Yeah, so we have Facebook, Instagram at the UCSD Beat. As Jacob said, it's ucsdbeat.com is our website. Don't go to the old Wix site. If you see that on your Google search, it's not a Wix site anymore. I would just like to plug all of the other acapella groups at UCSD as well. Please check them out. We love them. We would not be where we are without them too. So please go check all of them out. I want to shout out Our alumni, Chloe Bari, she has an EP out on Spotify and a bunch of other music on SoundCloud and a lot of other platforms. And then current member of our group, Janae Guilford, just released her Racing Heart EP as well, which is also available on Spotify, Apple Music, all of the regular platforms. We are going to be coming up with some kind of Zoom arrangement in the future, so watch out for that. And in regards to audition season, it's going to be for us and the entire UCSD acapella community pushed into winter quarter of 2020, but we will be having Acapella Wants You again. So if you have any questions, or if you're at all interested in music or acapella, or you just want to know what it is, please reach out to the UCSD Beat or any other acapella group at UCSD, and we would be really happy to tell you more about it. And now you have an additional 10 weeks to prepare for auditions in winter. So yes, we look forward to seeing everyone there.
And we will have all of your guys' websites, pages, anything you want linked below. So if you're listening to this and you're a freshman at UCSD next year and you really want to contact the Beat, all the information you will need will be down below. So that's pretty fun.
Super cool. I might have to go over and drive to go see the Acapella Wants You concert. That sounds like a really great time.
Yes, please come.
We just wanted to thank you guys for taking this time out of your day to come hang out with us on Tiger on the Block and talk a little bit about acapella culture and your experiences with it. It's been a lot of fun. Today's been a great episode.
Thank you guys so much. I've had a blast.
Truly, yes. Thanks for inviting us to be on this. It's been awesome.
Of course. We love hanging out with acapella people. It's always a good time.
Always a good time when the acapella people are in the party. We would also like to thank our audio manager, Mike Rophone, for sorting out the Samsons and AKGs, keeping us sure that the roads ahead are bright.
Our office manager, Al Touch Base With You Later, for all of his very important emails that we definitely always read.
And of course, our listeners. Thank you for tuning in.
Join us again next week when our guests will be some very exciting a cappella people from very far away from LA. It's a surprise where exactly they are from.
This has been Tiger on the Block. Remember to treat those vocal cords right.
Try out that riff you've always wanted to try.
And chug a ton of honey.